Hey guys, I am Hope Mixer. I am a Ruby leader, almost Emerald, almost Diamond. I'm claiming it for 2020. It's going to be Diamond and Double Diamond, and I'm so excited. I've been with It Works for almost 4 years. It has been a whirlwind of a journey for me, and it's definitely changed my life. In more ways than none as far as my health goes, my finances, and my mental health. So today I wanted to get on and talk about self-development and just give you guys my best pointers when it comes to it and how important your mindset is when it comes to working this business and actually when it just comes to everyday life and moving on from things. We all have, and I'm just going to warn you now, there is going to be cussing in this video. So if you're watching around your children, I'm sorry, but I just have to be who I am as a person, and I have a bad mouth. But I'll try to filter it a little bit. But guys, we all go through shit. We all go through shit. Life sometimes feels like it's just caving in on us and attacking us. And you can either be a negative seeker. You can either be like a drama negative seeker, or you can be a solution finder. And I am going to just tell you guys my story, how I used to be that negative seeker and how I have just grown into the person that I am today. So first off, a lot of you are probably wondering, what is personal development? What is self-development? Self-development, the actual definition of self-development is the process by which a person's character is gradually developed. So basically becoming a better you. Um, Personal development is a lifelong process. You are constantly developing as a person the older you get day by day. And it's never too late to change things. We all joined this business for a reason, and that was to make more money. That was to change things that were going on in our life. And you have to be in the right mindset in order for any kind of change to happen. You have to be willing to change in order for anything to change. One of my favorite quotes is, "Nothing changes if nothing changes." And what that means is nothing changes if you don't change. So like I said before, I have been with It Works for almost 4 years. I'm 29 years old. I'm from a small town in southeast Iowa. Before I joined It Works, I was 25 years old. And I just moved home to my parents' basement at 25. So I was at a very low point in my life. For 6 years before that, I had moved out of southeast Iowa. I got out of the small town that I lived in. I told myself when I was 18 years old, I was going to move away and never come back. And I thought I had it all figured out, and I didn't. I did not have it figured out. 18-year-olds, we always think we know like what is best for us, especially the 16 to 18 range. And you have no idea. You have no idea what life is about. And so to say I struggled is an understatement. To back that up a little bit, I have always struggled with anxiety and depression growing up. My grandfather actually committed suicide when I was 5.5 years old, after going through a very short but debilitating depression period. And that changed my family's life. It changed my family's life for the worst. You never know what depression's going to do to an individual until it happens. And to say that most of the people in my family on that side of the family developed depression after that is an understatement, because almost everybody developed any kind of anxiety or depression. And to say that it's a trend, unfortunately it is. It is hereditary. They have proven that mental illness is hereditary. It can be passed down. And all my brothers and sisters, my parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles on that side, we all deal with anxiety and depression. But I was an overly anxious kid growing up. Um, Going into my teenage years is when I noticed it started to get worse. Like, you could look at me wrong and I would start crying. I was very stressed out. I remember telling my dad when I was 15 and I was failing my algebra class, and I had never failed a class before, that I thought something was wrong with me. And he told me that he thought I was just being melancholy. My dad's never, until my dad started actually having problems with depression, he's never really understood it. And he still doesn't understand. But I was afraid to tell my mom what was wrong with me in high school. And mainly because it was her father who committed suicide, and she's a nurse as well. So I didn't tell my mom that I was having issues. They definitely chalked it up to me being angsty, like being an angsty teenager. And it was far more than that. And actually going into my senior year of high school, it got worse. I was in an emotionally abusive relationship that actually turned into both an emotionally and physically abusive relationship. He was very controlling, and that just made my depression worse. Actually going into graduation, my last semester of college, I had finally looked up depression because I took a psychology class my senior year, and I pretty much self-diagnosed myself with depression, knowing my family background and everything. So I finally sought help when I was 19, but if anybody knows anything about the mental health background in our country, it is very poor. It does not get the funding it needs. Doctors do not get the training they need. To see a clinical psychologist is expensive, and you need a referral. And most people just go and see their family doctors like I did. And I was prescribed medications, and it took me a long time to figure that out. Over that, I was still in that abusive relationship for 3 years. And then, I broke up with him when I was 20. I finally got away from it, but I still went through abuse with him. And so I went through all of that. I got out of control when I was in college. I started looking towards drinking and partying because I lived in one of the biggest party schools in the country. Definitely lived that life. I had fun, but at the same time, I was not having fun. I struggled all of the time with money. Um, I mean, to say I had fun, but I didn't. I had friends that would volunteer to pay for me to go out with them because I would have to tell them no. And if it wasn't for my friends putting money on daddy's credit card, I would have never went out. I probably should have never just done it. But I struggled hard. I couldn't afford food. I was always choosing between gas money and food, having enough food, and gas did not win most of the time. I struggled to pay my rent. I struggled to pay my bills. Everything was in my name, so I would just pay my roommates half most of the time. And there was times where I was choosing which bill I was going to pay in full and which bill I was going to have to fall back on. So I ran my credit to the ground. And I didn't even have credit. I had a horrible credit, and I struggled. And it wasn't because I wasn't working. I was working. I didn't have the privilege of having rich parents. Growing up, I was comfortable. My parents worked their asses off to make sure that we had everything we needed. My dad would work overtime. He would work extra hours. He would make sure that we played sports and we were in extracurricular activities because he didn't want us kids growing up and like the same childhood he did. I mean, sports is what saved my dad from ever like getting in real trouble. And so like my parents worked their butts off, but they still had to tell us no. And as I got older, I started to realize, what kind of problems we were in. And so seeing myself having those same problems, I was scared to ask my family for money. Would they still loan me money every once in a while? Yeah, but they had 3 other kids they had to worry about. And when I went into nursing school, it just got harder. I finally had gotten into nursing school after struggling to get into nursing school for 4 years, and it was rough. They first day of class, they told us if you're working more than 20 hours a week, you need to stop. And I was working 25, 30 hours a week. And I'm like, how am I supposed to stop working? How am I supposed to stop working and study? Like, I took myself down to 2 shifts a week. And then I also picked up nannying, and picking up kids after school and watching them after school for their mom and during the summer. But it was still rough. I mean, I was still not paying for things and I was still working way too much. I'm the type of person where if I dedicate myself to studying, I have to pay attention to it. I have to drill it into my head because I'm not the person that can just read a book and it's there. I'm not the kind of person that just can sit and lecture and it's there. I was the person that had to drill it and I couldn't do that. And through that, I mean, whenever I got a bad grade on a test, it just got worse. I started drinking alone. I would drink a bottle of wine alone. My roommate would come home and be like, oh, let me have a glass, but I would have like 2 bottles down. Um, it got to the point I cried myself to sleep every night. I wasn't sleeping. My insomnia got horrible. And everything was just always, why me? You know, I was always questioning God, why am I going through this? Why do I have to have depression too? You know, and I started thinking about self-harm, and I participated in self-harm, and I would drink and eat crappy food because it's all I could afford. And it just was a never ending circle. And, you know, there were times my parents knew about my drinking. My dad could see my bank account. Um, you know, there were times where I puked in a cab and I had to pay the cab $100, and my dad found out about it because he saw that I withdrew $100 from my bank account. One time my phone got stolen and dumped because they couldn't get in, and I didn't know about it because they stole it out of my purse, but I was blitzed out. Like, my parents knew I had a problem and they told me I had a problem. I didn't believe them. And it got to the point where um, during school, I told myself I needed to stop. On the weekends, I would have study wine because my old roommate that was in nursing school did that. And it was like, oh, I'll just have study wine. And that was horrible. And I ended up failing out of nursing school, just by a couple points. You know, passing in nursing school for most programs is 80%, and anything below an 80% is failing. And I had a 79.6, I believe. And that was devastating. I had worked my ass off that semester and I had failed out of school. And for me, at that point, I was almost 25 years old and I had friends that were graduating. I had friends who were getting engaged. I had friends who were starting to have babies, and I felt like a failure. Actually, I told myself I was a failure. I told myself I was a loser because I wasn't being able to do this. And my family saw how depressed I was and begged me to come home. And it just got to the point where it was like, am I going to continue this never ending circle of hating myself up here? Or am I going to hate myself for a little bit, but move home and try to restart there? And I made the tough decision to move home. I did not want to move home with my parents. My dad's very controlling. I love my dad, but he's very controlling. He wants rules, and he wants you to live the life that he wants you to live. And for me, I was like that kid that lived on her own for 6 years. And I don't want to listen to his rules, but I did it anyway. And so moving home, things did not get better. I ended up having to be on a different medication. So at one point, I was on 4 different medications. I was on the same antidepressant that I hated because I was having suicidal ideation with it, which is a side effect of antidepressants, of that certain medication. And I was drinking way too much. I mean, I moved home and I had like 2 friends, and I was just going out with those 2 friends all the time. And I hated myself. And my mindset was horrible. I mean, I would scroll through Facebook and compare myself to everybody. I was constantly comparing myself to my friends, but it's not because I could help it, because my parents were comparing me to my friends. You know, Abby graduated on time. Abby did this. Well, Abby had rich parents. Abby was more responsible than me. I'm sorry. And it just got to the point where At one point, my parents had threatened to have me committed. Actually, it was January 2nd, 2016. I had spent the whole day the day before getting blitzed out of my mind, and the day before that getting blitzed out of my mind because it was New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day 2016, the Hawkeyes played in one of the college bowls, and I went and watched the game with my friends up in Iowa City, and I came back and I was hungover as shit, and my parents sat me down and they're like, "We're gonna send you to rehab." I'm like, "I don't have a drinking problem. I just drink on the weekends." And they're like, "No, like you need to go and get mental health help. We're going to have you committed if you don't stop this." And that scared the crap out of me. I had never ever in my life like thought that my parents thought that bad of me. And it was a major wake up call. It's what I needed. 2 days later, I received my acceptance letter in the mail to my new nursing program. And I'm like, I need to get my life changed. I was working as a CNA here at our hospital, and I had taken a pay cut to become a CNA. I knew I needed to get in a hospital in order to get the experience that I needed and to get some skills going before school because I knew it would help me. And I didn't have a CNA job before that because it was very hard to find a CNA job in Iowa City unless you wanted to be in a nursing home. And I've just never wanted to work in a nursing home. So I took a pay cut from my other job in order to become a CNA, and I found myself working 30 hours again. Even though I wasn't paying rent, I was still paying my car payment, I was still paying my cell phone bill, and I was still struggling. Um, and I was constantly blaming, I wasn't like taking accountability for myself. I was blaming what was happening to me instead of saying, "Hope you need to change your life." So after my parents threatened that, I was just like, okay, I need to change my life. I'm about to be in this nursing program. I need to save some money. I don't know how I'm going to save money, but I also need to figure out a way to work less during nursing school, but get paid the same amount of money that I'm getting paid right now. And I'm like, how do I do that? 2 weeks after that, it was like January, I would say it was like January 14th. Random dude on social media messaged me and told me about this company that him and his wife were doing and how she was able to quit her part-time job and then pay for their wedding and pay for part of their wedding and then quit her full-time job and travel with him all over the country and to Puerto Rico so that he could be a pilot. And she worked from home and they're about to pay off their student loans and they were a year older than me. And I'm like, what? Are you scamming me right now? Like, this can't be true. And then he was like, have you ever heard of What Works? And I'm like, yes, I actually have. There was a girl that worked with me, and I've always wanted to try her products because I want to lose weight and I can't afford them. And he's like, well, just do this business with my wife. I didn't have the $99. I had to find money and I maxed out a credit card and I got started. And getting started for me was rough. Okay, my dad walked in the room as I had my credit card out, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Submit." So I just joined this company, and I'm gonna sell health and wellness products and earn some extra cash. And right then and there, I thought my dad was gonna be like, "That was stupid." He didn't necessarily say that, but he said, "Okay, it's your money, but if you find yourself spending more money than what you're making, you're gonna quit. Give yourself a month or two, and if you're not making any real money, you're quitting." And I'm like, you just said it's my money. I just spent it. Like, you can't tell me to quit. I'm 25 years old. You can't tell me to quit. I was like, Dad, this is my solution. Like, I'm gonna do well with this and pay my way through school. Like, I don't want to take out extra loans. And he's like, okay, all right. My dad had heard about it because my sister was buying products from another person who'd quit. And he's like, well, your sister could be one of your first customers. All right. And then my mom came down and she's like, what did you just do? Do you know the women that used to do this, that used to come to the house? Yeah, they didn't make any money. You don't have time for this. You're going to have to go to houses and do parties. What's this? It works. It's works stuff. She called it it's works. And I'm like, it's it works. My parents weren't supportive. Like, and I found out about it my first night. And I'm like, oh God, okay. Well, I don't need my parents. And I started posting about it. And left and right, I had friends telling me I joined a pyramid scheme. I had friends telling me I joined a pyramid scheme. I had friends telling me to quit. I wasn't going to make any money. I had people telling me, oh, those products don't work. The next day I went into work and a girl that was sitting at the front desk of my station looked at me and she goes, did you really just join It Works? And I said, yeah. And she goes, that stuff's annoying. Don't message me about it. In fact, I'm just going to unfriend you. And right away, I'm like, holy crap, no one's supporting me. No one's supporting me. Like, how am I going to get customers? And luckily, I had Sarah Nierman as a leader because she was talking me through this. And she's like, you don't need the 6 people that are being negative about this. You don't need your immediate family. What you need to do is you need to listen to me and you need to reach out to more people. 5 days in, I went and got my hair cut. And I'm friends with my hairdresser. I went to high school with her. So we always catch up every time I go in. And she's just like, what's new? And instead of saying the same old, oh, same old, still single, blah, 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 living in my parents' basement, I was like, well, I got accepted into a nursing program and I just joined this like work from home health and wellness business to hopefully make some extra money. Do you care if I talk to you about the products? And she's like, sure. Like, what company did you join? And I said, It Works. And she goes, oh my God, I've been wanting to try those hair, skin, and nail vitamins. I've heard they're really good for you. And if I like my results, I'll tell people about it and refer them to you. And I'm like, excuse me? And she signed up that night. It took me 5 days to get my first customer, and I wasn't even expecting it. I don't even know how many people I had reached out. No one in my family supported me. None of my close best friends supported me, but my first customer was my hairdresser. And that's all I needed to get things going. Like, I was so excited. But guys, I went through the shit during this. Constantly had people telling me I joined a pyramid scheme. Constantly had people telling me that the products didn't work and that all you need to do is work out and that I joined a pyramid scheme and I need to get out now. Constantly. And when I started this business, I don't want to necessarily say that my motivation was in the right kind of section that it needed to be. I was like, I'm going to get to Ruby and I'm going to prove you all wrong. And that's something you shouldn't do. Because I was driving myself through negativity. Like, I wanted to prove the haters wrong. And I still want to prove the haters wrong, and I have after 3 years, but I do it a different way. But for me, I drove myself to Ruby by proving the haters wrong. And I still had a shitty mindset through it all. I mean, I don't know how many times I messaged Sarah telling her, oh, everybody's making fun of me. My parents suck. My dad tells me every day I need to quit. My mom keeps telling me I'm in a cult. My brother and sisters all make fun of me when they come home. I'm the subject of jokes when I go to family events. I was. My family would personally attack me at events. We got together for my great aunt's birthday because she had cancer and we weren't sure how long she was going to live because it was stage 4. And the whole time I was there, my great cousins made fun of me. So I was already battling with depression. I was already not getting support, but I was finding it through other people. And by doing that, I mean, I dug into Sarah and Matt. They lived an hour and a half away from me at the time. And I went to their house and I talked to Sarah every day. And she just kept telling me that people's opinions don't pay your bills. And that kind of changed me a little bit. But even then, when I got to Ruby, I mean, I cried all the time. And I'm like, this needs to work. This needs to work. This needs to work. This needs to work. And I finally got there 3 months later. To say I maintained it long, I didn't because my mindset just wasn't there. but I got there. And it took me a long time to get through it. And I went through some shit that summer. My first day in nursing school, I was feeling good going in. One of my good friends was getting ready to have her baby that day. And another mutual friend of ours called me in the middle of my class to tell me that she had lost the baby, that she gave birth to a stillborn, that the baby had lost its heartbeat the night before it was born. And I had to take a break from my business. My best friend needed me. My depression went crazy because school was super stressful. And in the back of my mind, I was so afraid of failure in both my business and in both school that I just stepped back and I lost rank 2 months after I got it. 2 months after I got the goal that I wanted, I lost rank because of my mindset. And for 3 months, like June, July, August, I farted around and would be like, oh yeah, Sarah, I'm gonna do it. And I didn't enroll anybody. I would enroll like one customer and that's it. I would post like a couple times a week and that's it. I would maybe message every once in a while. I by August I was thinking of quitting because I'm like, this isn't working. But I wasn't working. I wasn't trying. My mindset wasn't there. And Sarah finally was just like, you need to work on personal development. And I'm like, well, what is that? She's like, well, obviously you haven't been paying attention to the trainings because I've been talking about personal development. You need to watch The Secret on YouTube and you need to watch it tonight. And I want you to take notes and I want you to send me a picture of your notes when you're done. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I don't have a test to study for tonight, so I guess I will. But I was like, okay, like I need this to work out. How can I make it work out? And she's like, watch The Secret, period. I'm not going to talk to you until you're done watching it. Like she gave me a come to Jesus talk that I needed. And it was tough love, but I'm the type of person, I'm a red personality. I need tough love sometimes to like slap me in the face. And that's what I needed. And I watched The Secret and it changed my life. Now I have worked this business, it changed my life and it took me 3 months after that to regain Ruby, but I made it happen and I maintained it for the most part between executive and Ruby for the last 3 years. And no, I'm not where I want to be in my business right now, but I'm telling you right now, because of personal development, 2019, I have grown so much as a person that I'm finally getting to my goals. So that's kind of my story. I wanted to give you guys my story and tell you, and I mean, I went on a half an hour spiel about it, but I need you guys to know that I know what depression's like. I know how debilitating it can be. I know what it's like not to have support from anyone. I know what it's like not to have support from anyone. I know what it's like to have people tell you every single day that you're going to fail and they're scared for you and they're talking negative to you. I know what it's like, but I also know what it's like to grow as a person. Okay. So let's talk about self-development. Like I said before, guys, personal development, self-development is a lifelong process. It is building your character. If you're that person that is constantly seeking out negativity on Facebook and you're the person that wants to comment and all that crap and create drama, stop. You are not doing anything for your life right now. And I used to be that person that would feed off of negativity. I hated it. It made me cower, but I would seek it out. I was always the person that asked why me and wasn't what can I fix. So I need you guys to think, like right now, why did you join this business? Why did you join this business? To make money, right? What's going on with life right now that's making you feel really shitty that made you want to join this business? Was it you had your power turned off? Did you, are you just sick of living paycheck to paycheck? Are you wanting more? Do you want to take a vacation? Like, why did you join this business? Now grasp onto that why and hold it tight. Because no matter how crappy you're feeling, you need to remember your why every single day. Every single day. And you need to personal develop. Now, what personal developing is it's framing your mindset. It is taking the negativity out and finding the positive. No matter how crappy my day is, I always try to find the positive that was in the negative. So, for example, I am a nurse and I work night shift and I hate it. I hate working night shift. And there's days I wake up and I don't want to go to work, but because it is night shift and we are in a nursing shortage right now and things are not good at my hospital as far as employment. But we're doing our damn best to give our patients the best care that we can give. And there's days I wake up and I don't want to go to work, but I think of it this way. I worked so hard for 9 years to become a nurse. And there are patients out there are people out there who do appreciate the care that I give them. And there are people there who don't appreciate it and who are going to be buttholes the whole time they are there. But what I know I'm going to walk away with is knowing that every day when I clock in and out of that hospital, I know I gave it my all. And I know that I impacted that person's life somehow, and that's all that counts. Isn't that amazing? I hate my job. I hate it. 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 But I just said something completely positive that keeps me going. That would have never been me 5 years ago. That would have never been me. Me 5 years ago, I woke up, I hated my job, and every single day I cried on the way to work. And every single day I went home and I said I hated my job and I never had anything good to say. Besides the fact that, oh, I saw my friend today, or oh, I saw the guy that I really like at work. That's it. That's all I ever had anything. I hated my job and I never had anything nice and I never looked for the positive with it. And right now I've shaped the way I did. So it's finding the positives out of the negative and it is working through the shit. It is working through the shit. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to create a dream board because this is how you're going to base your personal development off of, okay? So what a dream board is, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be literally a scratched piece of envelope. It can be a piece of computer paper. It can be a ripped up corner of your kid's construction paper project. Like it doesn't have to be anything special. Or if you want, you can go out like I did. I was at Target one day. I used to have a cheaper little, not good looking, just plain white dry erase board. And then I was at Target and found this frame dry erase board that has like a marble look. It cost me like $12, but it was like, it matches my theme and I have a little more money to splurge now. But you're going to write a dream board. And what a dream board is, it's your goals. It's your why. So, okay, get it out. Pause this video if you need to and get it. Okay. At the top of your dream board, we're making this right now. You're going to make it. You have to. You have to do this. It seems silly, but I heard Mark Pentecost talk about dream boards. I heard Jay Hooper talk about dream boards. I heard Sarah Neerman talk about dream boards. I heard all the other top leaders talk about dream boards. And then I read it in a John Maxwell book and in a Jen Sincero book. And I'm like, they're talking about dream boards in here. You have to make a dream board. If you want life to change, you have to envision what you want changed. If you want life to change, you have to envision what you want changed. So get out your dream board. Get out your piece of paper and pen, your piece of paper and crayon. It's Christmas time right now. Freaking tear off a piece of wrapping paper and like a permanent marker. I don't care what you have to do. Find something to write on right now. At the top, write dream board and then write down 2020. Okay, we're going to get this dream board ready for 2020 and you're going to envision it now. I want you to write down your why. Why did you join this business? And throughout this business, your why will probably change. When I joined this business, my first dream board, my why said nursing school. I want to get through nursing school and work less, and I want to go PRN. And I want to be able to get through nursing school and get my dream career. That was my why. My new why now, notice how I said earlier, I hate my nursing job. I don't hate being a nurse. I hate my job. My why is at the very top, and my ultimate why right now is I want to have the freedom to not feel stuck in my nursing job anymore. Okay. Now, next, I want you to think of your goals and your dreams. What does the perfect life look like to you? What words come to mind? I mean, what do you want to happen in the next year? What do you want to happen in 5 years? Make a 5-year plan. What do you see? I'm just going to start naming off some things that I talked about. I graduated college. I have a shit ton of debt. When I joined It Works, it was going PRN at work. I wanted to pay off the little bit of credit. I thought $200 in credit card debt back then was a lot. And I wanted to pay off my credit card debt because I put my business kit on my credit card. I wanted to buy a new car. I hated my car. It was a piece of poop. It was a boat. It was rusting. It was getting ready to like shut down. I wanted to be able to get my own car that my dad didn't pick out. And I wrote that down. I wrote down a Ford Escape or a Ford Explorer because those were my dream cars. And I decided to go with the Escape because it was a little cheaper and it was just more feasible for my budget. I wrote down, get a Ford Escape, move out of my parents' house, get an apartment, move out of Burlington, pay off debt, go on vacation. I was able to cross a bunch of those off within my first year and a half of being in this company. I got that car. I went on my first vacation in 5 years. I paid my way through nursing school. I graduated nursing school, and now my why is different. So some things I have is I want to pay off my credit cards. I don't want to be in credit card debt anymore. I want to build my credit, and I've built my credit back up. Like I took out credit cards after I closed out my credit cards because I didn't know closing out credit cards ruins your credit. Like, hey, I paid off this debt. Now I have worse credit. So I took out credit cards to build up my credit, and now I am in good credit. I wanted good credit, and now I'm paying off my credit cards, and I want to have it to a point where I'm not putting plane tickets on my credit card. I want to be able to pay for this stuff in cash. I want to pay off my car. I got a new car, and now I want to pay it off. I want to pay it off before my 5-year loan is done. I don't want to be paying this car off in 2 years. I want to pay it off this year. I want to pay off $10,000 in student loan debt. That would be a huge chunk in 2020. And ultimately, I want to be debt free by 2023. I want 5 figures in my savings account. I want $10,000 in my savings account because I don't want to be that person that doesn't have enough money one day when I really, really need it. If an emergency happens, if I get put in the hospital, or if I get in a car accident, or if something crazy happens, I want to have that money to look back on. Then there's different things. I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to be more confident in my body. I want to remodel and sell Tim's house. We're almost done remodeling. We just have to rip up the floors. I have a half check mark through there. And sell Tim's house. Move to Nashville. I would have never dreamed about moving to Nashville until I started dating Tim. Move. I want to move. I want to get a house and not have to take out a 30-year loan. I want to take a vacation somewhere where Tim and I have never been. I've taken vacations. We try to take a vacation every year, but I want to go somewhere we both have never been. It Works Christmas will always be on my board. It Works Christmas. I want to pay for Christmas in cash. For the last 2 years, I've paid for Christmas in cash, and once I'm done buying Christmas presents this year, that will come off. When I lose that 30 pounds, I want to buy a new wardrobe. And I want to walk the stage at conference. I want to be one of those people that walk the stage at a conference. Words that I have on my board are be happier, healthier, and confident. And then my goal is diamond. Diamond will change my life right now. So I have emerald and diamond down there because those are the 2 ranks I need to get there. And I have, you can do this. You can do this. It doesn't have to be, your goals don't have to be anything. If you want to be able to buy diapers with cash and not worry about diapers anymore, if you want to be able to get off food stamps, or get off WIC, or maybe you are on disability and you don't want to be on it anymore. You don't want to be living on a fixed income. Put that down. If your goal is to be able to buy yourself a new outfit, do it. Maybe you want to be able to go out to eat with friends and not have to just get an appetizer. Your goals don't have to be huge. But I also want you to know that your dreams can be goals. They don't have to be just dreams. So continue making that dream board. At the top, put dream board 2020 and then have the freedom to, not, don't put that. Put your why at the very top. Now, I want you to look at the income chart and I want you to look at what rank do you want this year? What rank do you want in 2020 and how is that going to change your life? What's that going to help with? For me, diamond's an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month. What would an extra $2,000 to $3,000 do for me? Maybe you want more. Maybe you want triple diamond. Then write down that you're going to have an extra $10,000 to $15,000 a month. What's that going to do? And I want you to write down whatever you want. Maybe you want to lose 50 pounds. Maybe you want to gain weight. Maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you want to move to a city or take a tropical vacation or travel the world or go see the Great Wall of China, or maybe you want to buy a stretch limo. Like, it doesn't matter what your dream is. If it's a dream and you want to make it happen, you don't want to die without this happening, put it down on your board. And it doesn't matter how long it's on your board, keep it on your board until you can check it off. Put it on your board until you can check it off and put it somewhere you're going to see it every day. Now for me, mine is in my office on some cute shelves right in front of me, right here. And I'm in my office every day. My closet's in here. I have to come in every day to my closet. I do power hours. So every day I'm hosting power hours and I look at my dream board. And I remind myself every single day why I'm doing this and why it's okay for me to dream. And every day I'm telling myself, I can do this. I will do this. It's going to happen. If you are telling yourself every single day, I can't do this. I don't have time. I don't think this is going to happen. Guess what? Nothing's going to happen. And if you just started, or maybe you just started a couple months ago, excuse my language, but get quitting off your damn brain. If quitting is in the back of your head somewhere, stop. Get it off right now. Put on your dream board, I will not quit. Because I'm telling you right now, if quitting is an option in the back of your brain, in the back of your mind, you're going to end up quitting. I'm not going to put that lightly. Everybody that I have known, everybody that has joined my team, everybody that's joined Sarah's team, everybody that I've ever known who kind of had quitting on their mind or who never would work on themselves, they thought self-development was stupid. They let life get in the way and quitting was always an option, have quit. Whether it was a week in, 2 weeks in, 3 years in, after being a double diamond. I have known double diamonds who have quit. I have known presidential diamonds who have quit because guess what? That was an option for them. Get quitting off your damn brain and start working on your mindset. You need to realize that if you're brand new, it is okay to be terrified. It is okay to be nervous. It is okay to think, how in the hell am I going to do this? It is okay to think that. But at the same time, you have to think, how in the hell am I going to make it happen? What do I need to do to make it happen? And find the solutions. Don't find the negativity, find the solutions. So here's what you got to do. Every day you have to start off with a mindset, with the right mindset. Every day you have to get up and I'm just saying for 10 minutes every single day, work on your mindset. You can do this through meditation. There's different meditation videos that you can watch. I personally can't meditate because, like I said, I have depression. I'm only on one medication now. I've been able to work through that, but I have like ADD brain and I think about 80 things at once. I can't meditate. I can't. But there's different ways you can do it. Okay. You got to think about your lifestyle first. Are you a mom? Are you a college student? Do you work 2 full-time jobs? Did you just quit your job, but you have a bunch of people that you have to take care of? Where are you at right now? And what's going to work for you? Now, there's different ways that you can work on self-development, whether it is getting up and meditating or getting up and exercising and listening to a fun podcast in the morning, or if it's getting up and reading for a second or reading before you go to bed. Like, you have got to do something at the beginning of the day to shape your mindset. If you get up in the day, and trust me, I know, like, there's been days I get up and I have people telling me, I don't think I can do this, or no, I don't want to join, or and I'm reading all these texts and I'm just like, this is how I'm starting out my day. And guess what I do? I put my phone down and I go and I work on self-development first thing. Because I don't want negative feelings to shape my day. Because the moment you wake up and feel like crap and you say, oh my God, this day is going to be crap, is the moment your day is going to be crap. But if you get up and you go, I don't feel good, but I'm going to try to fix it, things are going to be a little different. You could wake up and your kids are screaming and one kid's puking on the floor and your dog chewed a hole in your carpet and your day isn't gonna be 100% shit as long as you're willing to find the positives within it. I know you're probably thinking right then and there, my kids are screaming, someone puked on the floor, and my dog just chewed a hole in my carpet. What could be the positive of that? Well, one, if you hate your job, you can call into work that day. Maybe your job has PTO. You can use some of your PTO and get paid time off, and you can stay at home with your kids, and your other kids can go to school, and your dog can go in its kennel and be punished for a little bit, but maybe you wanted to get new carpet anyway, so now you have an excuse to get new carpet. Boom, positives right there. You got to do something to shape your mind, because if you're constantly telling yourself, I can't, this doesn't work, I don't think I can do this, guess what? Nothing is going to work out the way you want it. If you're constantly thinking negative, nothing's going to work out the way you want it. So there's a few different ways you can self-develop, okay? Whether that is, if you're a busy person, like I can be pretty busy. There's different things. You could watch or listen to a quick YouTube video in the morning while you're showering, or maybe you're eating breakfast and you watch a quick YouTube video. Some good people to follow on YouTube: Cheyenne Knox, Ashley Mayfield, Tony Robbins has a good YouTube channel, Mel Robbins, Rachel Hollis. But the first thing you're gonna do, if you've never self-developed in your life, the first thing you're gonna do, and you're gonna do this tomorrow, you're going to find a time when you can take 10 minutes. And if you take 10 minutes to watch this, it's going to take you a few days to do it, but you'll make it happen. You're going to watch The Secret on Netflix. It's not on Netflix anymore, but it's on YouTube. You're going to watch The Secret Law of Attraction. It's cheesy as shit. If you think about the early 2000s and late 1990s video cassettes, VHSs that we had to watch in school, the way they were edited, it is edited like that. It is cheesy. It seems silly, but if you can look through the cheese factor and actually listen to what they're saying, The Secret is a game changer. The first time I watched The Secret, the first 2 minutes in, I was dying laughing because I'm just like, oh my God, this is so cheesy. But I was like, but Sarah told me to really pay attention and take notes, and I did. And the one thing that stuck to me was just the way it made you think. the way it made you think, the way it made you find the positive and negatives, and the way it made you think of how to speak to yourself and how to manifest things and manifesting positivity instead of seeking out negativity, and listening to it, even though it's cheesy, it changed my life. And I probably watch it a couple times a year. I should watch it more often. I should up it to like once a month, because I feel like every time I rewatch it, something new pops into my brain. And it is game changer. So you have to watch The Secret. I'm not kidding. You're going to hear Jade talk about it. You're going to hear Sarah talk about it. You're going to hear Ashley Mayfield and PM Souter and all those guys talk about it. You have to watch it. That's your first goal. And take notes, write down things, put post-its up in your house, like put post-its up about your dream board saying you can do this, you deserve this, you want to be happier, healthier, confident. Put that up, like manifest it. Tell yourself every single day, like money is going to flow to me. I'm gonna lose this weight. I can do this. And the more you tell yourself this, even though if you feel like crap, even though there's days you're thinking, oh my God, how is this gonna happen? The more you tell yourself this, the more it's gonna eventually happen. The more it's gonna eventually happen. You're gonna be like, it works, it works. If you're constantly on the go, like I was in college, or like I am when I'm working, when I do a lot of stretches, stop playing the music. Stop playing the music in the car, and either download Spotify, or if you have Apple, get on Apple Podcasts. And you can either download the Why the Hell Not with Jade Hooper. She's Here For It with Abby Kappa. The Tony Robbins podcast, the Pam Souter podcast, the Rise podcast, or Start Today with Rachel Hollis, are all really good podcasts to listen to. And if you're listening to a podcast before you go and you're trying to shape your mind before you're going to work, before you hate your job, leave for work a little bit early. If you really want to listen to it, leave for work a little bit early and be able to listen to this podcast on your way in, like play an episode and then sit in the parking lot for 5 extra minutes before work to shape your mind. If you are a reader, I'm a reader. I love reading. Then there's a few books you have to just go on Amazon and get, and they're cheap on Amazon right now. The first book I'm going to suggest to you is called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. That book, like The Secret, changed things, but then You Are a Badass came out around the time that I really started working on myself. And Sarah was like, you have to buy this. It's game changer. You have to buy this. Like, just read it. And I bought it on my tablet that I had, and I read, and mind-blowing. I read it 2 times in a row and highlighted things. And that book, Jen Sincero, the way she talks, it's my love language. It changed me so much. I started reading that book around Christmas break before my last semester of nursing school, and I was not feeling good. I was not feeling good about the semester. I heard it was the hardest, and she helped me out so much. Whenever I was struggling through tests and bawling my eyes out here at Tim's house on his bed while studying, I would remember something that Jen Sincero would say, and it helped me out so much. The 5-second rule by Mel Robbins is amazing, and her rule, like, it's helped me with working out, it's helped me with trying to eat, except for the Chinese I ate last night, it's helped me with tasks throughout the year. The 5-second rule is so good. Other examples of books that you can read are John C. Maxwell, Developing the Leader Within You. Like, these are shorter books, okay? You Are a Badass Every Day. Like, if you need a short read, You Are a Badass Every Day is good. It has, like, the beginning of every chapter has little cute sayings, little cute quotes, and there's, like, it's basically like daily affirmations where you can read like 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, 10 minutes. You Are a Badass Every Day is amazing. The Magnolia Story by Chip and Joanna Gaines. It's basically like their autobiography. Like they talk about their progress, where they came from, and what they had to overcome. It's not necessarily a categorized self-development book, but by the way they both think helps you shape the way you can work your business. Unshakable by Tony Robbins. So good. I read this while I was on vacation and it was amazing. And in fact, I have old stuff in here from my mother. What is this? I bet this is an old Christmas card. It sure is. Look at that old Christmas card. Funny. And an old bill. I hope I paid that. But I read this book twice. Tony Robbins went through some shit, guys, and now he is a millionaire and does a conference every year, and he's amazing. Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. If you are a mom, you have got to read Girl Wash Your Face, because I loved the book, but she talks about a lot of working through things as a mom and as a wife, and I mean, which helps you with your relationship, but if you're a mom, you gotta read Girl Wash Your Face. She also has Girl Stop Apologizing. This was fire. Another one is what I'm reading right now. I can't even think. These are just a few examples, but the last, what I have been actually delving into the most is journaling. I thought journaling sounded cheesy at first. I used to journal when I was a kid, and it was like if I could, I think I threw them all away, but if I could find my journals now, I know it'd be silly. But when I was a kid, I wrote down my thoughts, and the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, I'm going to journal again, because if I can write things down, I know it sticks with me harder than reading. Sometimes I don't find the time to read, but I can find 10 minutes in the morning to really sit down and write things down. And I've gone through enough self-development in my Jesus, in my life, that I have a grasp of what I do, of what I can do when I do this. I went out to Target. No. I either got this at Target or at Marshall's, but I just found a cute leather-bound journal, and it just says, be bold, take risks, live life freely, lead by example, trust your gut, say what you feel, mean what you say, express gratitude, believe in your power, exceed your expectations, dance the night away, skip down the street, don't take no for an answer, be your best self, and don't look back. And I love it. And every day, I've been trying to journal every day, and I see this every single day, and it reminds me, even if I'm having a bad day, keep working, you can do it. I've gotten a lot better at journaling, but here's the structure of how I journal. I usually journal first thing in the morning, or if I find myself like I get up and I'm automatically doing things, then I'll journal later at night and I'll talk about my day. And what I do is I start out with exactly how I'm feeling. So I might not be feeling well. But I write it down. So I'm going to write you guys my journal entry from today. I went to a meeting and I was thinking very negatively after I got back from my meeting about my job, and I had to get it down. And by writing my negative thoughts down, it's me, this is final. I write it down. I'm done feeling this way about it. So what I do is I write my feelings down first thing, how I'm feeling that day. So if it's a bad day, I'm writing down exactly how I feel. Then what I do is in the paragraph, I go, okay, in the middle, after I write down my thoughts, I write down the ways that I can fix it. How am I going to fix what's going on? And most of the time, my business is my solution, because my why is right there. So I think of ways that I can fix the thoughts that I'm thinking. And then I always end it with gratitude. why I'm thankful for the solutions that I have figured out. And then I start my day. So I'm going to read today's journal entry, and I'm just going to share it with you guys. I just got back from my Credo meeting, and let me tell you, that's 1 hour I'll never get back in my life. And it was such a waste of Great River Medical Center resources. Why are we coming up with a quote unquote new mission statement and wasting a lot of freaking money and buying freaking cups for everyone? They bought us all like Credo tumblers, and I'm like, I don't want this. But it's free, so I'll take it, but you just spent a lot of money on it. Why are they buying freaking cups for everyone when we are losing employees left and right? I've been seeing zero change in this hospital since the new CEO started, besides money saving and unnecessary meetings. Night shift can be so scary, and I'm sick of being exhausted all of the time. I'm sick of feeling stuck. I'm sick of being run down, and I've only been a nurse for 1 year. When will it get better? Sounds pretty negative, right? My next paragraph. Yesterday, I finished painting the house, and now I have zero distractions with my business. I need diamond and double diamond so that I can stop feeling stuck with my employment. When I moved to Tennessee, cool, I want to feel confident with the hospital that I decide to work for. I want to know the job I accept won't be regrettable, but there's also room to move on. I love being a nurse, and I've always wanted to be a nurse, but I also want to enjoy it again. I think I'll always enjoy it works and what I do with it because it's shaping people's lives. And I'm so happy I have this company to fall back on. And if the chance comes to do this full time and be a nurse part-time so that I can enjoy both, I will take it. Diamond and double diamond are going to help pay the bills. They're going to help pay off the debt. But most of all, they're going to help me be able to quit my job and find what the right fit is for me when I decide to move on from this town. Until then, I need Emerald, and I am a future Emerald leader. Hope. It may seem a little cheesy, but right then and there, as soon as I wrote, I am a future Emerald leader, and I ended that with finding the positive, finding solutions, and how I'm going to work towards it, it made me want to get up and get working. And guess what? Every day I start off a power hour with personal development, and I am writing down my thoughts. And every time I get done with that, like I want to get on my phone right now and I want to go message 100 people. Because I said in there, I love it works. I love that I get to empower people and I get to change people's lives. And I want to go share that with people. I want to share those feelings with people. I know I can change people's lives with my career. I'm not happy with it, but this company is going to help me figure out how to get happy with it again. I am a Ruby leader for a reason. I'm a Ruby leader for a reason because up until, and a light bulb kind of went off in my head about 3 weeks ago when I was making my dream board again. And up until about 3 weeks ago, I never felt confident in myself to hit Emerald and Diamond. I never felt 100% confidence in myself that I would be able to lead that many people because I didn't have the confidence. And because I didn't have that confidence, because I had that doubt sticking in the back of my mind, guess what? I've never gotten there. And up until 3 weeks ago, when I was remaking my board and writing all this stuff back down, I went, oh my God, I can be a diamond leader. I can do this. Like I feel diamond in my blood, and now my business is turning back around again. I may not have hit the goals that I wanted to hit in 2019. I may have been in this for almost 4 years and I'm still a Ruby, but I have grown so much in the 2019 to 2020 year as a person and with my mindset that now things are turning around and I feel good. You heard a lot of negativity in the beginning paragraph of my journal entry, but at the end, I felt it coming off of my shoulders and leaving. And you need to do that with your life. If you're constantly feeling like you can't do this and you're doubting yourself and you're freaking out and it's causing you to not work because you give up, you got to work on your mindset. Because, girl, you can do this. And all those dreams you have written down on your dream board are achievable and you deserve it. You deserve it. You don't have to settle for things. You don't have to settle for what you have right now. If you hate what you have right now, don't settle. Don't give up. Manifest what you want every single day and tell yourself every single day, I'm going to make it happen. Someday I'm going to have 6 figures in my bank account. Someday I'm going to have 5 figures in my savings account. Someday I'm going to be off food stamps. Someday I'm going to actually have money left over in my bank account instead of being negative. Someday I'm not going to live paycheck to paycheck. Someday I'm going to have that car that's reliable. Someday I'm going to be able to buy my kids the PlayStation they want. Like, whatever you want, whatever is written down on that dream board, keep telling yourself it's going to happen. And don't give up on yourself and manifest the crap out of it. The more you manifest it, the more you work on yourself and work on your mindset and work on getting yourself, shaping your mind to wake up and think, oh, thinking great, it's going to get better. Personal developing has shaped my life for the better. It's helped me overcome a lot of things with my depression. My depression is no longer debilitating. It's no longer holding me back. It's no longer my excuse for everything. Um, I'm still on medication, but I'm slowly trying to wean myself off of it because I don't want to be on medication for the rest of my life. No, as a nurse, I realize I might have to be, but now I'm on a healthy, low enough dose that I'm like, it's okay. It's okay that I have depression. I know I'm going to have bad days. I know there might be bad weeks. I know that in life something bad's going to happen. But I know now that I have shaped my mind to the point where I know I'm going to be strong enough to get through those bad times and not give up and not shut down. And you have to do the same thing for yourself. If there's anything this business has done for me besides helping my income and blah, 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 and everything that everybody joins for, it introduced me to self-development and personal development, and it has changed me as a person. I used to be that negative person that complained all the time. I used to be that person that people didn't want to hang out with anymore. You know, I had friends that chose not to hang out with me because I was miserable to be around. And as I changed with this business, I had more friends that started to respect me more because I held my ground and went against everything they said and held my ground and grew as a person. And I became happier and found something that I really like to do. And then I found personal development and I started working on my mindset and started working on myself. And my best friend looked at me last year when I was, actually didn't look at me. She called me. She texted me and asked me if I could talk real quick. And it was like at like midnight after we had gotten back from our block party at conference. And she saw all my videos and saw all my Snapchats and my stories and whatnot of me having a blast at conference and just being happy. And she said, hey, I'm going to sign up as a customer next month, but I want to let you know that I've seen what this business has done for you. You've gotten so much more confident. You've gotten so much more happier over the last 3 years. And I want you to know that you're back to the hope that I've always loved as a best friend and as a sister. And I'm going to support that. And then my other best friend who hadn't talked to the other one. Like, we're three best friends that anyone could have. And she messaged me almost the same thing as well and said, I am not interested in the products right now, but I want to let you know that I'm so happy that you have found something that you love and that you're back to being happy hope. Self-development can change your life. It may seem silly at first, but it will change everything. I'm not only happier with my life, I have more confidence in myself. I may not be at the weight that I want to be at, but I'm happy. I'm happy with my boyfriend. I'm happy with my family. I am much more strong-willed and willing to speak up for myself, and it's because of the way that I've shaped myself as a person. I worked through the shit and I've changed, and everything's changed for me because I was willing to change. Self-development is the best thing ever. And if you have, sorry, I'm just trying to see, make sure I didn't miss anything. If you have 10 minutes in a day to work on yourself, you will reap the benefits 10 months from now. I promise you. I like to just use the 10 and 10 euphemism. I can't say it. But it could be any time frame. If you want your life, if you don't want to be sitting in the same exact spot you're sitting in right now, 1 year from now, start working on yourself. Start working on yourself, sister, because nothing changes if nothing changes.